We got to talk USC recruiting because the Trojans have the number 2 ranked class in America, but they are battling for that top spot. And heading into the weekend, you put in a new prediction for USC. Coming out of the weekend, you put 2 more predictions in for USC. Steve, let's hear about it.
Yeah, could USC finally overtake LSU and move into number 1 for the On3 industry top-ranked recruiting class? I feel like we're getting close.
We're getting real
Coming
close.
into the weekend, I predicted USC for the On3 industry's number 4 cornerback, number 1 recruit in the country, or number 1 recruit in Ohio, Albert Hill the fourth. He was back at USC for a second time this spring. He's already been there several times, had another great time hanging out with the players, meeting the incoming recruits. The coaching staff continues to excite him about USC. And he said the direction of the program, the pieces they're putting around it, this program will be great in the next few years. USC's number 2 ranked recruiting class is highlighted by what they've done at the cornerback position, landing R.J. Sermons, who's the number 1 ranked corner in the land per On3, and Brandon Lockhart, who's the number 8 corner in the country per the On3 industry. To add Albert Hill to that would be very nice, would allow Deonta Lynn to play the kind of defense he wants to play with the secondary of that magnitude and of those skill sets. And I think Albert Hill is a guy that USC could land sooner rather than later. They're battling Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, to name a few, but it's USC that continues to set the pace there for Albert Hill. A couple of those other predictions that I put in that you alluded to, Kenny Pepe, the touted offensive lineman from IMG Academy, back at USC for a second time this spring. Talked to sources that spent time with him on his latest visit to campus, the number 5 offensive tackle in the country per the On3 industry. I think USC's in pole position. I also have him on commit watch. Same goes for On300 receiver Roderick Tizino. He's from the state of Louisiana, and he's been to USC twice this spring. And coming out of his latest visit, USC is in pole position. He had a great visit, had a good time being around the coaches and staff, talked about the great hospitality and feeling at home. Everything excites him, says USC is going to do big things in the future. I think he's going to be part of that. I like where USC stands, and my RPM reflects that.
All right, Steve, what other USC intel do we have from the weekend?
Wiltfong Whip Around is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the hot ticket app for fans that are looking for those last minute, hard to find, hard to get tickets. It's tournament season. Looking to be at the biggest games in March with friends or loved ones? Game Time has you covered. And Game Time is about maximizing value. So they're going to find you the best bang for your buck. In fact, right now on my Game Time app, I'm looking for Pacers tickets, an opportunity to see the best players in the NBA. And I'm finding tickets in club level for $23. And there's no hidden fees. Game Time Picks. Curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. All-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total up front, which again, no surprise fees at checkout. You get your seat views, get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Game Time ticket coverage. Your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time, and your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code ON3 ON3 for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Yeah, well, they hosted a lot of their top targets around the line of scrimmage. Obviously, we talked about Pepe and the offensive line, 2 other key players at the point of attack, Malachi Lee, the number 1 recruit in Hawaii, and Kelvin Obat, who's a top 10 recruit per On3 in the recently updated On300. We're back on campus. My RPM's on USC for Malachi Lee, but Georgia's been making a move there. Michigan's been one of the front runners. Texas and Alabama round out the top 5. I know USC was excited to get him back to campus as they battle there. And then Obat, Oregon, Michigan, Nebraska, Utah, the other prominent ones in the mix, but USC's been doing a good job there. And then flip over to the defensive line. Coach Eric Henderson has been doing a fabulous job recruiting the position. Same goes with Coach Sean Nua. And Lamar Brown, 5-star jumbo athlete, defensive line target, came from Louisiana. He talked about seeing USC's culture and got to learn more about the school. They're still trying to work their way up there, but some guys that I think USC's really in the mix for official visits. 4-star Mikel Blade out of Chicago Simeon, Ben Boulware, a touted guy out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Nolan Wilson's an on 300 edge rusher from Mississippi. Titan Davis, one of the most highly recruited defensive linemen in the country from St. Louis. He was on campus this week. Those are guys that I would not be surprised if we see them back at USC in an official visit capacity down the road, Josh. Mark Bowman was certainly one of the biggest names on campus.
Yeah.
5-star tight end from Mater Dei. Been a lot of buzz around Georgia and Texas as of late for Bowman, but USC's gotten him on campus a couple times this calendar year. They continue to fight the fight. And then Jalen Lott, I think, is one of their top targets regardless of position. They love him at receiver. My on-3 RPMs on Oregon, but USC is certainly at or near the top of his list. And the same goes with a couple 4-stars in the secondary, cornerback Jordan Thomas from New Jersey and safety Tyreek Green from the Peach State. So huge weekend at USC, number 2 class in the country. They may try and sign like 40 high school prospects this cycle, Josh. They're in position to do that. The Trojan Olympics was a huge success for them this week. And I think they're going to land some of these guys moving forward, including obviously the 3 on 3 RPM picks put in.